One of the most influential, brilliant minds in the Western world, Albert Einstein, famously said that the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. If we want to change what happens in our lives, we have to change what we do. To change what we do, we have to change how we think. A while ago, a dear Behenji of mine mentioned to me that she did not like going to a particular temple because the situation there somehow made her feel not so peaceful. So I said to her, I said that, well, Behenji, we have to bring with us our own peace. And when we bring with us our own peace, nobody else can take it away. So, the real meaning of peace, we talked about it last night, that if in whatever situations we find ourselves, we have to be able to gather our thoughts and think in a way which will bring peace in our own minds, regardless of the confusion around us. So how do we create our own peace within? Conceptually, it's simple. To practice, it's hard. We think peaceful thoughts, we perform peaceful actions, and we focus on not breaking our peace of mind. Years ago at work, I used to come in, I like getting in early, take my time. And every day I would come in, on my way to my office, I would pass a couple of people who were already at work. And to this one lady, I would whisper, "Good morning." And she would whisper back in kind, "Good morning, Jag." And after about a week of this, she came to me one day. She knocked on my office door. She came and she says, "Can I ask you a question?" I says, "Yes, of course." And she says, "Why do you always whisper good morning?" So I tell her, "I'll tell you tomorrow." So the next morning I came in, I whispered, "Good morning." And she whispered, "Good morning." And then I remembered her question. And then I told her, I says, "Listen, do you hear and feel the peaceness of the morning?" She said, "Yes." And then I told her, I don't want to be the one that breaks the peaceness of the morning. That's why I whisper. I like the quiet peace of the morning. Ever since, not only her, but many others, in the morning when it's quiet, they whisper. See, in my own way, this is how I kept the peace around me and within me. When we do that, no one can steal our peace. When we create peace within ourselves, then we find peace without. I've always said that if you look at the world through the glasses of peace and love and unity, you will see a world of peace and love and unity. But look at the world through the glasses of dislike and hate, and you will see a world of dislike and hate. So I'll tell you this little, and I think all of us will be able to relate. In our daily interactions with each other, at work, at home, at mandir, everywhere, others tend to dictate our state of mind. So we get in situations and we get on this emotional roller coaster. This person get me angry, that person make me feel good, this person tells me something, it gets me angry. Centuries ago, there was this king. He had this beautiful big castle. He had a loyal dog. In this castle, there was a hall of mirrors that he used to entertain guests. One night, they mistakenly left the lights on the hall on, and the dog in the night had wandered into the hall. And when he got into that hall, remember all the walls are mirrors. And he looked in there and he saw 100 other dogs looking back at him. And he barked once and 100 dogs barked back at him. And as he barked, they barked, and it was loud, and he barked himself until he was exhausted. And he collapsed and he fell asleep. So I ask you this. What could that dog have done that would have quieted all the other dogs? Be quiet himself. How many of us do this? We project, we say, we do that create all the other dogs in our lives. And then we complain about all these other dogs barking back at us, when all we had to do was remain peaceful and quiet. Bless them and let them go their way. And we would have found peace. He saw reflections of himself. He saw barkings that was echoes of his own barking. And he got angry, which is exactly what we do most of the times in our lives. We let others dictate what we do. So today we've heard so many mantras, we've heard shlokas, we've heard from Manusmriti about the things we can think about differently that would bring peace into our lives. If we cannot find peace within ourselves, we cannot experience peace outside of ourselves. Remember a time that you had the flu or you were sick. You felt miserable. If it was a beautiful day outside with 78 degrees is my perfect temperature. If it was 78 degrees out and sunny and beautiful, did you feel fine? You did not care that it was a beautiful outside. You still felt sick. Because you were sick inside. It didn't matter what the day was like outside. When we find peace within ourselves, when we find peace in our minds, then we can recognize peace and create peace outside of ourselves. Then and only then. Because your mind, if it's in turmoil, the world can be at peace, but you will not find peace. Peace begins inside. Peace within, peace without. So we have to find peace within ourselves. We must acknowledge that God granted us the powers, the intelligence, and the divine attributes that if we practice, we can find peace. Those divine qualities that God implanted in the hearts of every single human being. Remember last night we talked about there is no such thing as a bad person. There are people with bad habits. Just as covering a diamond with a layer of mud does not reduce the value of the diamond, but removing the layers of dirt will reveal the beauty of God's creation. Mujh mein om, tujh mein om, sab mein om samaya, sab se kar lo प्यार जगत में कोई नहीं है पराया, कोई नहीं है पराया. God is within the heart of you, within the heart of me. God is in the beating heart of every single one of us.